This is the Mokwheel Basalt ST 2.0. This is the second generation of this bike. And like all Mokwheels, they've set a high bar. So I'm gonna be a little pickier with this one because every other Mokwheel I've ridden has just been exceptional. So we're gonna see today how good this one is. We'll get to that in a minute. First, let's talk about some of the features. It has a gargantuan 20 amp hour battery. It's huge. This right here, this is not a mid-drive. This is a dual-sided torque sensor. What it does is it senses how much pressure you're putting through the pedals and it delivers power to the motor on the rear hub accordingly. This is a much better system. Most e-bikes have what's called a cadence sensor. It just sees how fast you're pedaling and does what it does there. This is a better system. We'll see how well it works. It's listed as a Class 2 e-bike with a 20-mile-an-hour top speed. That's a little sneaky. We'll talk about that more in a second too. Here is our 750 watt, a 1100 watt max motor on the rear. And these things are really great. These are turn signal brake lights built into the frame. Isn't that nice? It comes with this fantastic rack, again, with a taillight with turn signals built into here. Really good visibility functions. Nice big seat. Our handlebar and gauge is pretty standard fare. We have really nice high quality hydraulic brakes with 180 millimeter rotors, a very simplified pod, and the throttle is over here on this side, which is, it's funny, they always move them from side to side because that's the bells over here and it's an analog bell. I don't know how loud that is or how well that's actually gonna work. 7-speed Shimano derailleur. It does have mounting points for a rack on the front. I think that's a great idea. Only front suspension, no rear suspension. And it has an adjustable stem. We can rotate the angle of the stem to put it where we want it for comfort. I'm not always sure about these things. These things don't always work as well as you think they ought to. We'll talk about that more in a minute. And now for the important part. What is it like to ride the Mokwheel Basalt ST 2.0? We're finally on the other side of winter. Still chilly, but the snow's gone. A little bit of haze in the air on this Sunday afternoon. Initial riding impressions, very similar to the other Mokwheels I've tested. It really exudes quality. It really does. It's a very stable platform. We're only in power mode 1, and because this thing's using a torque sensor instead of a cadence sensor, the way power comes on and off with the pedal is really nice. It's really smooth. But we're about to head to our high-speed downhill test. How fast will this thing get going downhill? So let's switch it to power mode 5, full throttle, and we're already over 30 miles an hour. 31, 33, 35 miles an hour. Holy cow. Almost 36 there for a second. Yeah, this thing is proper quick, as you would expect. And into our S-curve, where we can test the stability and the braking. We're going to go to the brakes. Good, powerful hydraulic brakes. They feel really good. You know, that's one of the most stable bikes I've taken through that S-curve. Yeah, I like this bike. Yeah, really precise, good handling, good geometry numbers on this frame. It's a 7-speed derailleur. I think 7 speeds may not be enough because the thing goes so fast. Like, look, we're going 25 miles an hour, 26 miles an hour. I'm soft pedaling. I'm not really pedaling super hard, but it's going plenty quick. Again, the torque sensor on the bottom bracket, really intuitive. The electric motor's almost transparent compared to how some of the cadence sensors are kind of herky-jerky as they come on and turn off. This is really, really smooth. Yeah, this thing handles really well. 26 miles an hour. Yeah, boy, I'm just having fun tearing it through these corners at almost 30 miles an hour. Awfully happy to have the hydraulic brakes. All right, we're still in power mode 5. We're gonna try to go up our 11% grade, see how well it does. Yeah, 22. We'll shift into a lighter gear. 20 miles an hour, 17 miles an hour. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna just keep singing the praises of that the torque sensor. Yeah, it builds speed pretty quickly there. Right up to 25 miles an hour. I'm gonna go down in power modes because we don't need to be going quite this fast. Back down to power mode 1. Now, one of the other advantages of a torque sensor as opposed to a cadence sensor is it's more efficient on battery use. This thing already has a gargantuan battery, a 20 watt hour battery. That's a big, big battery. And using a torque sensor, it'll sip the power, so you'll get a lot more range out of this thing. The website says it'll do like 80 miles, but I'd be willing to bet if you run it in a lighter power mode, you can definitely get over that. This is the second generation of the Basalt ST. They refined some things and they simplified some things. One of the surprising simplifications is the bell. The other one had like a big digital bell. This one has an analog bell. Let's test it. It's not bad. Louder than I thought it would be. It's this little low profile thing. I don't know if you see this right here. That's all the bell is. But putting the bell there means the throttle is over here. It's one thing that's always surprised me about e-bikes is the throttle and the brakes, they could all be in random different places. So let's go over the controls really quick. Right here is the rear brake, as traditional for an American bicycle. The front brake is on the other side. It's on the left. Good to have these powerful hydraulic brakes. The little pod here, very simple. Power mode up and down. You hold the power button, it'll turn the headlight on and off. It has turn signals. We talked about that already. They're just right here. The nice thing that this thing does that a lot of others don't do is if I turn on the turn signal, it shows me on the screen that my turn signals are on. That's nice. A lot of the other ones, you could be like your grandpa, just riding around with your turn signal on, not really aware of it. It's nice that this thing shows you. The other improvement over the 2.0, over the 1.0, is the gauge itself has gotten a lot nicer. It shows you what your battery level is. More intuitive screen. One of the other nice features with this one is the security of being able to take the little computer screen off, take that with you. That makes it so you can't turn the thing on. So if it does it just makes it less stealable or less desirable to steal, because you'd have to go through the hassle of finding a way to turn the thing on. And these things are heavy. I think this one's around 77 pounds. Ergonomically, we have these really nice these really nice hand grips. Nice little gel on the palms, makes it really comfortable. And we are about to head into our park, do our lap. Maybe we'll do 2 laps around the park today, because it's a nice day. A lot of times those tight little maneuvers with the cadence sensor, it'll just like launch to full power mode and it's a little unnerving. This is nicer. This is nicer. It does have the 26-inch x4 wheels, very common. I'm a fan of the fat tire on these e-bikes just because you just have more grip. They're better at dealing with different types of terrain. We're gonna do our quick little single track test here in a second. And I have no doubt whatsoever it's gonna be really stable and really composed. And you just gotta love that about it. All right, here we go, let's try it out. There's only suspension on the front, oof. And if you're gonna be doing a lot of burly stuff, you could get the full suspension, but quite honestly, the simplicity of just a fork on the front and not having to deal with the rear shock, there's some advantages to that. Yeah, see, no problem. This bike is just extremely stable over the pine cone. Woohoo! Yeah, your big chunky tires, they do provide a little bit of suspension, a little bit of cushion. And then the seat itself is also nice and comfortable. Yeah, Mokwheel again. Making an excellent product. Yeah, really, really good bike this. All right, let's go up to power mode 5. Here we go. A little bit of delay on the power kicking in there, but it seems okay now as we fly along at over 20 miles an hour. Are we gonna pass a Porsche? Look at that. Faster than a Porsche GT3 RS. Not many e-bikes can say that. It's a super bike. Faster than a Porsche. Maybe that'll be like the thumbnail. Passing a Porsche. Whew, this thing is flying, 20 miles an hour. Lovely, lovely day. Man, we're just moving along. Like this thing would be an outstanding commuter, I think. The power, the extra security with being able to take the gauge away with you. The rack, I love that it comes included with the rack. You don't have to buy it extra. So you don't have to carry a backpack if you don't want to. You can strap it to the rack or whatever you need to do. Yeah, we're the fastest thing on the road. Yeah, 22 miles an hour. This thing is no slouch. Combine that with the stability, this is a really excellent platform. I like it. This might be one of my very favorite e-bikes I've ever tested, I'm not gonna lie. I like the simpler gauge layout, the simpler pod. Doesn't have too many features. It has the features you want. I kind of like the analog bell. I like brake lights and turn signals and headlights, things that you really want. I love how the brake light and turn signals are kind of built into the frame. It's a nice touch. Mokwheel typically has a really good high level attention to detail, and I appreciate that. And once again, like the quality of it, the finish on the paint, the little details, the fluting up around the headset. Yeah, good job, Mokwheel. Another fine product. Lovely day in the park. And you know, I probably say this on every review I do. The joy of having a bicycle and being able to plod around, go check out your world, and not have to kill yourself physically. You don't have to be like all hot and sweaty. You don't have to put on the little spandex uniform. You just hop on your bike and go for a ride. You can get to work and not be all sweaty and stinky. One finger braking. It's nice for an 80-pound bicycle. Nice strong brakes. Love it. Love it, love it. All right, time for the more adventure-y portion of our test as we head off the beaten path. Still in power mode 5, because why not? All right, we got our big steep hill climb coming up. There's got a lot of traffic we gotta like wade through. Dog days in the park. All right, throttle only. Let's see if we can make it up this hill. I suspect we can. Ooh, 8, I'm not pedaling. 6, oh, I think we're gonna do it no problem. Picking up some speed, 7, getting to the steepest part here. 6, 5, oh. No throttle, no pedal, throttle only, totally did it, no problem. Yeah, it's one of our best performers on the hill test. So it does function like most every other e-bike. You can go pure analog mode, pure acoustic mode. You can turn off the power and just pedal it like a normal bicycle. There's pedal assist, which is how most of us use them. Or you can use the throttle and it'll go purely on battery power. Very intuitive, pretty easy, pretty standard fare for how things work. Now, being as it's Mokwheel, it does also have some added things you could do to it. There is an inverter mode, or an inverter option, I should say, that when you buy it, you can buy an inverter. It comes with some solar panels. So if you are someone who's maybe living in a van or going on an extended vacation, you can set this thing up in the sun with the inverter and charge the battery for free. I don't have that option. I didn't feel like I needed it as I'm stuck living in a house. I don't get to live in a van. All right, let's head back up the hill on our Mokwheel Basalt ST 2.0. I should also mention, as I just did it there, I was going up the hill purely on the motor, but as soon as you touch the brakes, the motor disengages. That's a really important safety feature, that you can't be on the throttle and on the brake at the same time. If you get scared, grab the brake. It's not gonna push against it. You'll be just fine. Well, that wind came up. I hope the audio's okay on this. Happy dog. Happy dog. All right, so this is normally the time where we talk about what we don't like about the Basalt ST 2.0. And it's gonna be a pretty short list. I don't have much for you because in typical Mokwheel, this thing is well put together. But it does have one thing that I really don't like about it. And it's not even that big of a deal. It's these stems that you can change the angle on. You can raise it up high for more comfort. You can put it down low. I'm not especially tall. I usually like them in the lower setting. These have a tendency to kind of come loose or move on you. If you don't crank them down really, really tight, you can yank on the handlebar or go off a bump and it'll collapse on you or it'll yank up. And like, I'll bet you even now I can yank on it and it'll come up. It did it to us over there just a minute ago, like that. And you know, partly is it needs to be tighter. When you build in too much adjustability on fit, you're compromising some of the overall strength and integrity of that component. Just a pro and a con. It's not one's better or one's worse. You have to decide what's important to you. On this bike, with how capable and how stable it is, I'd rather this be a fixed stem. But for you, that adjustability might be really, really important to you. And that's pretty much the only complaint I have about this bike. This bike is darn near perfect. I really like it. I really, really especially keep talking about it. I like the dual-sided torque sensor. I wish all e-bikes came with the torque sensor. It's so much better than the cadence sensor. It really is. I guess I'm trying to nitpick here to come up with something else. I do wish the handlebar was a little bit wider. That's a pro and a con too. A narrower handlebar, it's easier to, if you have to get it through doorways or through gates, narrow a handlebar is nice for that. I prefer a wider handlebar just for me. I feel like I have more control over the front end. Probably less critical on this bike since it is so gosh darn stable. I love the turn signals, love them. I love how they're built in. I love how they're built into the frame. I love that the gauge tells you when they're on. I love the safety that it provides. I love the integration with the brake light. Really, really good, nice touches. All right, let's use our turn signal and head into our neighborhood streets, because this is, I think, how these bikes get used a lot. They're not always going to be on bike paths. This is really one of the most usable designs in e-bikes. I love that it's a step through. That makes them so much easier to get on and off. You know, you're dealing with a heavy bike. A lot of times you're using them for utilitarian purposes. You know, you have a bag on or whatever. It's just nice to be able to step through and get on the bike and just start going. Climbing over the top tube bar, not that big of a deal, but I absolutely, unequivocally, I prefer step throughs. I think they're great. In Holland, where everyone rides a bike, they're all step throughs. It's not a girl's bike thing. It's a practicality thing. Now, I did mention, and we should talk about this for a second, because it's a, I don't know how to say this. It's stamped as a Class 2 e-bike. But there's a secret menu inside of here that you can go in and you can set the max speed that the motor will power you to. And I think it goes up to like 61 miles an hour. I haven't been able to get it to go over 30 miles an hour, but 30 miles an hour on battery-only mode, that's way faster than Class 2. You're heading into, you're faster than the average motor scooter. You're faster than a Vespa. And I think you need to kind of think about that. That's a huge pro, right? Like, you're basically buying an electric motorcycle more than you're buying an electric bicycle. It's kind of sneaking through the rules a little bit. And let's be totally truthful here, legislation is starting to kind of catch up with these e-bikes, right? The California and some of these places are starting to pass laws because people are getting hurt because folks will be going so fast on them on a bike path, you know, 30 miles an hour on a bike path. I mean, I was doing it. But people can get hurt at that. This is more than just a bicycle. It's a little motorcycle. And on one hand, personally, I think that's super awesome. I love how fast and capable it is. It makes it more usable. I don't have to register it. I don't have to license it. Don't have to insure it. It's just this fantastic little runabout that is insanely cheap to operate, right? Which kind of leads us into, who do I think this is for? Who's the perfect buyer for this? And I think because the thing's so practical, it can be used for a lot of different purposes. A college student, be fantastic. Commuting, maybe you live off campus, you got to get to campus. This thing's great. Just a commuter, right? Return to office is hitting the country nationwide. The telework is going away. If I had to go back downtown, I'd be paying over $100 a month to park a car downtown to get to work. This is cheaper, substantially cheaper. Not paying gas. It's going to be quicker than probably taking the train or the mass transit to get somewhere. I mean, it goes 30 miles an hour. I mean, geez. You don't get stuck in traffic. You know, ride the shoulder of the road, get around traffic. These things, I think, are going to become increasingly more valuable and useful to more people. So, yeah, I think these things are really great for that purpose. And then I think lastly, along those lines, with the way the world is changing, if tariffs do kick off the way that they may kick off, these things could become twice as expensive. So right now, let's talk about the price. $2,300 MSRP retail. If tariffs kick off, these things could become, you know, $3,000, $4,000. So if you're considering one, I would encourage you to consider it sooner and possibly grab one now. I think as of right now, the day I'm filming this, there's a special. They are on sale right now. But because Mokwheel did send me this bike to review, they did give me a coupon code that if you use my little link, yeah, I get a few bucks kickback if you buy one. But I think more relevant to you is you're guaranteed to get the best possible price if you use my little coupon code. Put it up on the screen. I'll put it on the screen at the end of the video too. And links down in the description. But back to just riding this thing and having fun. As we head back up the hill, how pleasant it is to ride these things. You're not getting a workout like she is, but I'm still breathing, I'm still moving, still getting some exercise. Way more engaging than sitting on the couch watching Netflix. We gotta ring our bell. Yeah, the bell could be a little louder, I guess. We'll give it 2. So 2 things. I don't like the stem and the bell could be a little louder. That's pretty minor. Because you could always put a bigger bell. You know, I always like those big round ones that will look like a donut or something silly, and they're really loud. Go to REI or your local bike shop and grab one of those. Nice and stable. Oh, I just like it. Really appreciate the stability. Good geometry numbers on this bike. Final thoughts on the Mokwheel Basalt ST 2.0. I love it. I really love it. This is easily one of the best e-bikes I have ever tested. I'm really smitten with it. I love the color. I love the torque sensor for the pedaling. I love that it comes with the rack, the fenders. This thing, there's a lot to love about this bike. As I mentioned just a minute ago, I do have a coupon code for you that guarantees that you're gonna get the best price when you're ready to buy this thing. But I would encourage you to try to buy it sooner. We don't know what's gonna happen, but this thing could save you a lot of money, and buying it now, it's possibly the best price it's ever going to be. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had fun. I had a great time riding with you on this beautiful spring. We're into the afternoon now, middle of the day. It was a great time. It was fun. We'll see you next time.